Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with some Total War Warhammer 2 news. Creative Assembly have released the factions and campaign map for the game, so we'll be taking a look at that today. Lots of cool stuff to look at. Kind of starts to give us an idea of how the campaign will play out, how various starting positions, will play out, and sort of the feel that we get from it. Lots of cool stuff, lots of little tidbits to get into, and let's get right to it. So let's take a look first over here at Athelloren, the home of the Elves. We'll slide the frame over here so we can also get a good look at Nagaroth, the home of the Dark Elves. So, yeah, looks like the Dark Elves have somewhat invaded Ulthuan. The bigger icons you see here, the ones that appear larger than the others, those are going to be the starting points for the various factions. So this one right here is Tyrion. I believe he is the one that starts on Ulthuan, and it looks like for him the first order of business will be to defeat this Dark Elf faction here, which I believe, looks like a Cult of Excess. So indeed, a Cult of Excess has taken hold in Ulthuan, and it looks like, you'll be tasked to drive it out, most likely, as your first order of business. So we've also got, looks like some more Dark Elves invading in the north, Nagarythe. We also have Albion being occupied by Norskins for some reason. More Norskins up in the northern wastes, which makes sense. Lots of High Elf factions here, and pretty much all the factions. I don't know a lot about the lore, so you guys will have to let me know if there's anything that's been missed here, but it looks like pretty much everyone's represented. The Ulthuan seems to be the one place I'll say on this map that isn't ravaged by ruins. And one point on the ruins here, you guys will see these question marks and the ruins. We'll get to those in just a minute, but just take a note of those and take a note of the fact that this mysterious race can perhaps occupy ruins. So maybe some of these ruins that we see here would be occupied, by this mysterious race of most likely Ratmen. We'll see. So, let's get back to it. Here in Nagaroth, it looks like with both Malekith here in Nagarond and Morathi starting fairly close together, you'll be battling quite a bit of Beastmen early on, most likely some Norskin invaders, as well as the other Dark Elves. I'd imagine there'll be some pretty major infighting there as you attempt to subjugate the other Dark Elves and take them over, but we'll see. Very cool stuff. Do make a note here of Sartosa, the Isle of Pirates. Sort of, my guess is they'll have Empire-style troops, but hopefully we'll see them fleshed out either from Creative Assembly themselves or modders, I'm sure. We'll take up the call if not. We'll now zoom south here and start to take a look at Lustria and the Southlands. And now we start to get a little bit more of a sense of how different things are going to play out. One thing to note on Ulthuan is Tyrion is the only one that starts on Ulthuan, and besides fending off these Cult of Excess here, there doesn't seem to be a lot of other threats, so I'm guessing he's going to be the easiest starting position, and probably the one that new players should take. Newer players to Total War, that is, or to, Total War Warhammer. But in terms of the Dark Elves, those two starting positions will most likely play out relatively similarly. We'll see. I'm excited to see. We haven't really seen too much of the specific race mechanics for the Dark Elves, so I'm very interested to see what those would be. It looks like we do have some more Norskins here, as well as some Old World settlements, I believe. Old World colonies, New World colonies, sorry. And we'll start to see Lizardmen. We've also got the Vampire Coast here along the coast of Lustria. And these blue serpents here, I believe, are greenskins. I believe that's the symbol for greenskins. So that's interesting. Maybe a tribe of savage orcs somehow stuck in Lustria. We've got, let's see, this is going to be Mazdamundi right here, starting in Hexuatl. So he'll be under threat from Norskins immediately, and you'll have to figure out how to deal with these settlers and, some other threats around. He does have some Dark Elves just to the north as well, so should be interesting. And down here we've got Teclis starting on the Turtle Isles. It looks like there are some Dark Elves down here as well for him to battle, and as well as some Greenskins. And interestingly enough, we have Dwarves here in Lustria, which I'm no expert, but I've never heard about any Dwarves in Lustria. They are occupying this area called the Central Spine of Sotek, and they are indeed called the Spine of Sotek as their faction, so very interesting. I'm not sure about that, but cool to see. This here, I believe, is going to be Skaven, which, again, the quote-unquote mysterious race. We pretty much know at this point that it's Skaven. But interesting to see that Skaven perhaps will have a mechanic where they can actually occupy ruins, making it so that you can't necessarily directly attack their settlements. I'm not sure. I'm really interested to see more about this, because we can clearly see that there are ruins here, and these two provinces, you'll note, are both larger ruin icons, and they do have the province sort of in a color which doesn't correspond to any of the other nearby factions. So it leads me to believe that Skaven will be able to occupy ruins, and we'll see some interesting, unique race mechanics there. I'm very, very excited to see what they have in store. And it also means that there are more than just the two factions here, so it means that there are other Skaven factions scattered throughout these ruins that populate much of the New World. So I'm sure that some of them are actual ruins. Others, though, are probably occupied by Skaven. And does that mean that the Skaven will be hidden on the campaign map? That you won't be able to necessarily see their borders or see where their territories are? It's going to be very, very interesting. I'm very excited. I can't say that enough. Moving on over to the Southlands here, we've got another Skaven start position here. Kroq-Gar will be starting here along the Bitter Sea. And no starting positions in this northern part of the Southlands, which is ostensibly, I mean, we can see here, this is the land of the Tomb Kings, and currently there are just some vampire factions, the Strigoi and the Neckarchs, sort of squatting in those lands. So we can imagine that once the Tomb Kings are implemented, likely as DLC, we'll see them in this area. Likewise with Araby, it seems to have been occupied by Bretonnian Crusaders. Sudenburg is here as well, and there are some dwarves here in Cobra Pass, so that's pretty interesting. This leads me very much to believe that we'll see Araby as a paid DLC. I believe Creative Assembly has said they're going to equal, if not surpass, the level of free and paid DLC for the second game. And if you think about it, we had the Beastmen and the Wood Elves as paid DLC. As well as the Warriors of Chaos and Norska, but those are kind of separate. They're pre-order bonuses, and anyway. In terms of the campaign faction packs, beyond the Tomb Kings, they don't have a lot of other options in this map area, I wouldn't think. So it would make sense to do Araby, but because they're not here already like Bretonnia was in the first game, I think that, like the Wood Elves and like the Beastmen, they will be paid DLC. And that they'll come in at a later date. We'll see. I'm really hoping that they come in at a later date. I would love another human faction, just to give more flavor, varieties of the spice of life and all that. And it'd be cool to see, desert-themed human faction. So, Creative Assembly, if anyone from Creative Assembly is watching this, please make Araby. I will buy it. I will throw you all the monies. Just make it, please. We also have a few other interesting tidbits. Karak Zorn, which I believe in the lore was destroyed by a greater demon, if I'm not mistaken, seems to be alive and well, so maybe that actually didn't happen. And there's some Wood Elves here in the heart of the jungle under the name, Orion here. It's a little hard to see, but yeah, very interesting. So some Wood Elves have somehow made their way all the way down to the south of the Southlands. Very, very interesting. So, yeah, it's looking to be great. The hype train is ever increasing. We've got Savage Orcs around in various places. Looks like maybe some roaming Goblin tribes as well. High Elves scattered amongst the Southlands in various colonies. It's really going to be quite a wild time. We've got the Knights of Regio, Sartosa, as I was saying before. Really going to be a fun time. So I'm excited to see, what the campaign plays like, what the different faction mechanics are for the Skaven and the Dark Elves, It's got me really excited. I know this channel has primarily been focused on multiplayer, but I do play campaign in my own time. And I'm considering uploading campaigns to YouTube. You guys will have to let me know if you would like to see that, or, you know, if there are already... I feel like there are already enough YouTubers doing campaigns on YouTube. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think. But I'm very excited. This is starting to shape up to be a great sequel, I would say, to Warhammer, and it's going to be a great time. So thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what you think, if anything jumps out at you, maybe there's anything that I missed, or, you know, what your impressions are of this campaign map. The thing really I'm most excited to learn about is the Skaven mechanics, because if they can occupy ruins, that's just going to be so interesting. Like, how does that even work? I don't know. I want to see Creative Assembly just reveal the Skaven already and tell us about them, because everyone wants to know. So, and at that, I think I hear a witch hunter knocking at my door, so I'm gonna go. I will see you guys next time. Like and subscribe if you're liking the content, and yeah, take care.